Okay, we'll start with the same question about your earliest recollections. Can you remember any particular toys that you used to have or friends that you used to play with when you were quite young?
No, I can remember very vaguely living in Paddington when I must have been 4, I suppose. And I can remember a round table. I can remember having a toy box, which was probably one of these boxes for fruit and vegetables, and all the toys were bunged together in that sort of thing. And I can remember also in the street outside the house used to be full of very rough sort of children. They were always shouting and pulling each other about, and well, I was only 4, but I have recollections of those sort of noises and things that went on in the street outside, because children used to play in the street a lot in those days.
Would you have been able to play out even at 4?
No, I don't think so. I wouldn't want it to anyway.
So did you move from Paddington? Or?
Yes, we moved from Paddington when I was about 5 to Kensington, which is a very different sort of neighbourhood. And I went to school at the local Church of England primary school, St Mary Abbots.
What can you remember about your days at St Mary Abbots?
I can remember doing a drawing which the teacher thought so good that I had to take it round to every class in the school to show them. I think it was a canoe or something like that.
Were you a prefect or anything?
No, we didn't have prefects. May have had monitors, but prefects were for secondary schools. But at that age, you might have been a monitor, allowed to give out the books or take in the inkwells or something like that.
So when you were at St Mary Abbots, was that when you joined the Scouts?
No, I was in the Cubs at that stage, I should think. Yes, I should think I was in the Cubs in those days. I enjoyed being in the Cubs.
What sort of things did Cubs do in those days?
Oh, I don't know. I remember tying knots. I can chiefly remember for what use it was, ultimately.
Would you go on camp?
No, I didn't know. There were no camps at that stage at all. It wasn't until I went up into the Boy Scouts that I ever went away to a camp. And they were quite fun.
Whereabouts were the camps?
Oh, I can't remember all the various different places, but they're always, of course, in the countryside. But I can't remember very much. Some of them were connected with farms, and I can remember playing on haystacks and things like that.
So after St Mary Abbots, where did you go to secondary school?
After St Mary Abbots, I went to the Emmanuel School, which is in Wandsworth, which I suppose could be considered to be what the headmaster liked to be called a minor public school, because he was a member of the headmasters' conference. So it was a rather stodgy grammar school.
Did any of the other children from your primary school go on to
No, none at all. I didn't know anybody when I went there.
What?
I enjoyed certain subjects. I enjoyed languages, chiefly Latin and French and German. I enjoyed those, but I didn't enjoy any other subject really. And I didn't feel I fitted in somehow, because it was very games-oriented. There was strong emphasis on rugby football and those sort of things, which I disliked.
Were you the last to be picked?
Sorry?
Were you the last to be picked?
What do you mean by
for the
picked?
teams?
I never played in a team. I managed to wangle out. There was compulsory games in one afternoon in the week, and I always managed to wriggle out of it somehow or the other.
Right, that's the last question.
Okay.